I tried public speaking for 4,000 hours, and I'm about to tell you everything I learned to go from nervous and shaky on stage to relaxed and confident in front of tens of thousands of people. You see, when most people start speaking on stage, on camera, at the office, it can feel super intimidating because it feels like you're putting yourself under the spotlight, and you feel like if you mess up, your life will be over. But there's actually a 3-step process that transforms you into a confidence machine, so that no matter what happens on stage, you are having fun and totally confident in front of your audience. And after speaking for over 4,000 hours, I'm about to show you how to unlock this pure confidence on command. The first step is to be unapologetically you. We can't present from a place of pure passion if we're trying to be something we're not, or if we're trying to be like somebody else, because the audience can sense if you are being authentic and if your message is coming from a true place. So always bring your true essence to the stage. Whether you're an introvert, an extrovert, super calm, really high energy, your unique edge is the very thing that is going to set you apart from other speakers. It's also your unique edge that audiences are attracted to. This is the very thing that helps us create the depth of connection. Don't worry about being likable or perfect. Just focus on being true to who you really are, because authenticity is the most attractive quality. So let your true personality shine and don't get blocked by what you think other people want you to be or how you think you should be based on other people that you've seen. Because people connect with the real you, not the rehearsed you. We can tell in half a second if someone is not being their most authentic self. And to be honest, it's a real turn off, especially if we're looking for a message of inspiration or hope or even education or something that's going to improve our life. We want it to come from a reliable source, one that we actually trust and feel a connection with. So if you're not being yourself, we lack that ability to create a true and meaningful connection. So embrace your quirks. Bring them into your presentation, your style, your delivery, your content. Are you funny? Are you cheeky? Are you witty? Are you super dry? We connect with the human aspect of presenters, because you can have the most amazing content in the world, but if it's delivered in a really robotic, monotone way, no audience is actually going to connect with that. Whereas on the flip side, someone might have an okay message, but if they're an amazing person and we love their energy and they're happy and they're radiating sunshine, we're like, I love you. And so naturally, we're going to hear their message more, we're going to be more open to actually letting it land, and we're going to develop a deeper connection. So always show up fully and unapologetically. A lot of my one-to-one clients are afraid of this very thing, being themselves. They're afraid if they're vulnerable, then people are going to judge them. But here's the thing, we want to see the real you. Who are you? What do you love? What lights your spirit on fire? Why are you passionate about the message that you're sharing? How does it impact your world? In order to truly connect with an audience, we have to come, as I said, from a place of pure passion. And this comes from being our most authentic self. So stand out by being yourself, because your differences are the very thing that make you unique. They are your superpower. Let your energy always reflect who you truly are and not who you think you are or who you think other people want you to be. And avoid performance mode, because we can tell when someone's just learned a script and they're delivering it with no heart and no passion. We don't listen, we tune out. The only way to truly get your message across and hook the audience and grab them and go on a beautiful journey together is to bring yourself into it. So be unapologetically you, because you're amazing. The second step is to anchor your lessons within stories. Stories are at the heart of great public speaking. Unlike a sales pitch, which can totally make us cringe, we connect with stories on many different layers. We connect with the emotion in stories, and that is what we remember. We don't want to be preached to on stage. We don't want just a monologue where it's just like message, 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 because it gets really tiring really quick. But if a speaker tells a story and then there's layers of messages within that, it is so much more exciting. You see, audiences learn the best when they're given the space to create their own aha moments and connect the dots themselves, because we come to our own conclusions, which means the message lands better and in a very unique way, and always different for everyone. So here's a photo of me in 2011 when I did my first ever set at the New York Comedy Club. Look how cool, calm and collected I was, right? Wrong, I was terrified. I was rote learning all of my jokes off by heart, which I do not recommend at all. Lesson learned. So I memorized everything and I wrote bullet points for my jokes on my hand. And by the time I get up on stage, I was so nervous that the lights are shining in my eyes. I say my first joke and then I forget everything. Complete blank. My physiology totally took over and I had a complete disconnect and I could not remember anything. literally like a deer in headlights. I look down at my hand and it's a giant smudge mark because I've been sweating so much, and I have a full 4 minutes left, and I literally could not remember my joke. Couldn't remember any joke I'd ever written, couldn't remember my name. It was a complete mental block. And I was so nervous that I couldn't even think straight. So I just locked eyes with one of my best friends who was there, looked at the table, connected with her, took a breath, had some space, and then my jokes eventually flooded back. So that story, for example, is number one, completely true, OMG. But what I've done is I've actually shared the lessons within the story, which makes it so much more exciting. So what are the lessons? In moments of panic, calm and center yourself. If you take a breath, your content will come back. Don't worry, because we all get overwhelmed and our physiology can take over. If you have a support network with you, connect with them, because knowing that people support you and having these believing eyes is so important to you and your confidence. Memorization is not a good technique because in the moment we can totally trip up on it. So can you see how there are so many different lessons in that emotional journey that I shared, which is so much more exciting because, as I said, you get to connect the dots yourself and you get to take the lessons that apply to you based on the experiences that you've had in your life, instead of me just saying, here's a lesson, here's a lesson, here's a lesson, here's a lesson. So storytelling makes things so much more exciting. I go much deeper into the storytelling and brainstorming process with my one-to-one clients. So if you are interested in learning more about storytelling and becoming an amazing public speaker, click the link below. Stories spark curiosity and they invite us to reflect on the messages that resonate with us on a much deeper level, because we hear a story and we think, oh, how does that connect to my life? Plus, really well told stories that activate all of our senses are remembered long after the presentation itself. So here's how I like to approach it. If you think about the messages that you actually want to share and reverse engineer it, then you come up with stories that allow you to actually encase those messages naturally and in a way that actually adds value to the audience. So start by asking, what message do I want to share? And then which story, big or small, will allow me to actually demonstrate that message in the most engaging, colourful and vivid way possible. And when you're writing stories, always think about bringing as many of our senses in as possible. What do you smell? What do you see? What do you hear? What do you taste? What do you touch? That allows the audience to really immerse themselves in the experience. So remember, you never want to just like spray or shower your audience with lesson, 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 lesson. If you can, put it in the vehicle of a story. It makes it so much more exciting for you and such a cool adventure for them. Because as I said, they get to join the dots on their own, find the lessons that resonate in their own time and in their own way, which means they're going to land deeper and they're going to stay with them much longer. And the third step is one of my hands down favorite lessons of all time: get ready to make mistakes. Because if we're ready for a mistake to happen and we're anticipating that something is going to go wrong, but I don't know what it is, it means that when something does go wrong or a mistake does happen in a live environment, which they always do, it won't destabilize us off track. Because one of the biggest things that shatters our confidence is the fear of, oh my gosh, what if something happens and I'm not prepared for it? So if we instead have a mindset of, something's gonna go wrong, I don't know what it is, but I'm ready for it, then it means that when it comes, it doesn't shake us, it doesn't rattle us. Because mistakes, whatever they are, whether external to you or in your delivery itself, they can actually become some of the most charming and memorable parts of your entire presentation if they're handled with grace. You see, they're an amazing opportunity to really have a vulnerable moment with your audience, to show you're honest, to show you owned a mistake, to show that you acknowledged a mistake. And when you do own a mistake, your audiences love you for it. When we can connect with our audience because of something that happened in real time that was unplanned, that's a true connection, because we can't script it, we can't prepare for it, which means it's a spontaneous opportunity to create a really deep connection. In fact, every slip up is a brilliant opportunity to add spontaneity, authenticity, vulnerability, humor. Care much less about the mistake itself and more about the way you handle it. A graceful recovery speaks volumes about your charm, your resilience, your professionalism, your talent, your ability to just roll with the punches. So expect the unexpected and get not just ready to make mistakes, but get excited to make mistakes and start to see them as opportunities to show your resilience and your quick wit. Because if you're ready for things to go off script, it's so much easier to stay grounded and to keep the momentum going when something does go wrong. When I teach my one-to-one clients how to get ready to make mistakes, it is the coolest shift because we move from, oh my gosh, I'm afraid that there's something that I can't control, to I'm ready for anything, bring it on. And it is such an empowering shift that we should all be making. And let's be real, mistakes happen all the time, and they're going to continue to happen. Whether you're doing a video, whether you're presenting in a boardroom, whether you're presenting on stage, life is life, and a lot of stuff happens that is totally out of our control. So if you anticipate a mistake is going to happen, you remove the fear, which means you'll be able to handle the moment with so much more confidence. If you want to dive deeper into this and get more information on my one-to-one client work, click the link in the description below. So get ready to make mistakes, because they're not just part of the journey, they're inevitable. And I like to say that mistakes are like a masterclass in public speaking, because you learn so much through that process that serves you so well in the months, in the weeks, in the years to come. I've learned all of these lessons the hard way. It's taken me 14 years of making mistakes, falling down, picking myself back up, making mistakes, falling down and picking myself back up. So if you want to see how someone went from nervous, having mental blanks and super shaky, that was me, to totally confident and falling madly in love with public speaking, click here and I'll take you back to July 20, 2011. See ya.